Thank you all for joining us here. And this is the Mythbusters of AI. And we have quite a few myths to kind of talk about, but want to give everyone a chance to go through and introduce yourself. And keep this 30 seconds, 45 seconds. We have a lot of ground to cover. Joyce.
Hi, everyone. Well, great to be here. Hi, Tom. Hi, William. Love the previous panel. And about me, 30 seconds. I run my own business called Veranda Partners. I advise board directors and business leaders on their AI strategy and oversight governance, per se. And I also run a newsletter that provides non-technical business leaders some of the most important AI strategies and development.
Oh, awesome. Liz.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Good morning if you're down under. I'm Liz Smoke. I'm the co-founder of Maiden Multimedia. We're a branding agency specifically for executives. I also coach in AI several times a week, and also a founder of Dora.ai, and that's an incubator, a no-code incubator for women startups. Thanks so much for having me.
Oh, awesome. Jeff.
Well, yes, I am down under, so g'day. How are you all? I'm known as the king of dad jokes. I'm a travel influencer for Dream Trips, and now in the last 12 months, I've positioned myself as a social selling and AI mastery coach for network marketers and affiliate marketers.
So you got to go to the dad joke.
Oh, come on. Okay, so how much does a polar bear weigh? Don't worry, I've got no idea either, but I'm sure it's enough to break the ice. Brilliant. That's an icebreaker.
Good. Okay, Sarah, if you're muted. If you're up.
Okay, yeah, that was a good joke. I always appreciate a bad joke, and maybe in competition for that, Jeff. My name is Sarah Chevalier, and I am currently a spunky brand mixologist for Lemonade Brands. It's my own company that I co-founded. Previously, like many of the beautiful people here at corporate, 25 years senior director, sales, marketing, and I walked away from it all just a few years ago. And it's only been 2 months that I'm really knee deep in AI, and it has just changed my life. So it's really quite a beautiful thing that I've been loving to learn from everybody. It's so amazing.
Awesome. Thank you. William. I know William is my co-host today for the Mythbusters panel. He didn't have a chance to introduce himself, so definitely want to give him an opportunity.
You see, he treats me like the sub-star, but I'm really the reason people are on here. So
that's exactly right. Yes,
I'm super excited for this, Tom. I'll be honest, because like I'm a gritty construction guy that just happened to make it big, right? So to see these like AI geniuses are super exciting, and this panel I'm pumped for. So my name's William. I own Genesis Solar Power, the ARC Corporation, Eden HVAC and Home Efficiency. I am a 30-year-old father. A 30-year-old man, father of 4, husband, and I'm, got high blood pressure. Everything you need to know here. I'm super pumped for this. Tom, thanks for having me.
Awesome. Do you want to kick the panel off or with questions, or want me to start?
I would love to, because again, what I really want to cover in this myth is I guess I want to point out a myth that a unique question with this, and I'd love to hear your guys' thought process on this, right? So a couple that I have right here is here's the myth, is that AI is going to replace all human creativity. It's going to replace take all art and all music, and is going to destroy the artistic development of all humans coming up. I've seen it. I've watched Tom use it. Respectfully, I've seen it in art and advertisement, and I'd love to hear your guys' opinion on that community that I'm sure is watching right now, going, is my career going to be okay? Joyce, lead us off, please.
Oh, I'm the least creative person on this panel, but let me set people up for better answers later on. I would say people are now recognizing that issue from an enterprise perspective. They want to be responsible in their use of AI content. So we're now starting to see some of the agreements or license deals with from the AI companies with the big content creators. But when can we trace these content creations to the smaller creators? I'm still waiting to see there. So I'll leave the room for other panelists to answer this great question.
Perfect. Thank you. Liz, bring us home.
Sure. I just want to piggyback off of what Joy said in regards to smaller creators. So I found that many individuals similar to Joyce who don't feel they're very creative, but absolutely have a plethora and decades of ideas, wishes, and wish they could produce with their hands. And now that is actually possible. And the health benefits of actually being able to see in real time and realize your gifts. But those small creators are quite worried. I'm hoping, my hope is that small creators are using AI to implement better processes in their research for art, in their actual creation of music, painting, writing, so that they can compete in a marketplace. That's my absolute favorite thing, is really showing individuals, whether it's artists or entrepreneurs, now the field is now level. There is no tech person, and I'm not tech, I'm not creative. That no longer exists.
Thank you. Jeff, come on.
Well, I'm actually going to probably throw in a different viewpoint here. And I actually feel that, yeah, it is going to take jobs away and it's going to make people more efficient. I'm a high school dropout, dropped out at year 9, dyslexic, can't spell to save my life. And yet I've been able to master this AI space in a content marketer's space, you know, create awesome logos. Like in the past, I would have paid, say, $800 to do that. I've been able to do that myself. So I've taken that job away from that graphic designer. As a social seller, I'm more come from a digital marketer and sales background. I'm able to use, you know, ChatGPT to help me to create awesome content that, you know, helps me to step up as a you know, professional copywriter. I'm not a professional copywriter. My dyslexia and my spelling is atrocious. So yet I'm able to run, you know, my ideas and learn how to become a prompt engineer, essentially, like, you know, create awesome prompts to be able to help me speak like Steve Irwin. Or Russell Brunson from ClickFunnels. I'm able to use their tonality and bring their messages into mine and blend it, you know, and create a new voice with what I have to offer. And essentially that's, you know, one of the things that we teach is we teach you how to leverage these amazing tools and enhance yourself. And that's the key word there, is enhance. You know, take that creative energy and enhance, you know, some of the bottlenecks that, you know, a solar entrepreneur faces is they have to bootstrap everything. They don't have $10,000 for a graphic designer or, you know, $10,000 for a PR person or, you know, X, Y, Z. You know, I can now leverage these amazing tools. And I would go far as saying that ChatGPT, especially this 4.0 version, is now probably worth at least $20,000 to $30,000 a year for me. So, yeah, I am taking jobs away.
I think you're going to pay that to Sam, the creator of OpenAI.
Yeah, it's in my bank. Well, it's in my bank.
Can you enhance my airline, Jeff? I just want to know that real quick.
Yeah, we're working on that one.
Thank you, buddy. Sarah, go ahead.
Yeah, this one's near and dear to me, and kind of, and Jeff, you know, and I appreciate Joyce and Liz respond, because I would be the perfect example of a small creative. And there's kind of 2 prongs to this question, saying, will AI replace jobs? And then is it going to take away creativity? So those are 2 very kind of different conversations in my mind. I'm going to touch a little bit on the creative side, because you know, when we're young, we all Crayola crayon and we draw, and then we realize that maybe we're not so good. Our parents tell us, oh, that's nice, you should stay in the lines, and we learn all those rules. And most of us, you know, you have this vision of the struggling artist, and so we've given up that part of ourselves. And I know for myself, I did. I mean, I dabbled in whatever. Since re-entering with AI, my creative side has exploded, and not just in AI. I'm painting again. I've always been a writer, so that's always there. My watercolored pencils, I delve so deep into learning photography because I want to be able to prompt properly. And so apertures and filters and, you know, all these things. And I'm learning about artists, like so much. I'm not taking it away from someone. for me, it's something I didn't think I could touch into, and now I can, and that has totally allowed it. And I think of it sometimes, just to give a metaphor, if you think of anyone who's ever done pottery, I look at AI as being the clump of clay that we throw on, but we're the ones molding it. We're the ones playing with it. And in every given time, we can squish it down and restart, decide how fast and how slow we're going. And that's the creative. To me, AI is the tool and we are the artists. And so it's allowing people who thought they couldn't be artistic. Like I'm in a group, Liz, you know, we're kind of connected in that way. And I'm with a slew of artists. These are photographers and painters, and they're all embracing it and saying, I'm layering it on top of, in addition to, and that is so beautiful to me. And for me, I can't draw a face for my life. And yet now I get to imagine. That's why my tagline is imagine, create, express. The first part is imagination, and that's us. That's always going to be us. And so I will it replace certain jobs? Yes. But will it create so many more? Yes. So that's my short and long answer there.
Well said. That was all good answers, phenomenal answers. And Sarah, I'm right there with you. I can't draw to save my life. Someone asked me to draw a picture. I'm drawing a stick figure. And as we saw in the debate of the ethics debate with Jonathan Mast and Krista Moore just a few minutes ago, I was able to generate likeness or similarity to those two individuals and put them in a boxing ring, boxing each other with a large language model. But getting back to myths about AI, one myth is that AI can think like humans and it can solve any problems. Now, is that true or not? I'd like to go round robin and see what each of you think. Is that true? Jeff, do you want to kick us off?
So what was the question again? Can AI replace?
Can AI think like humans and can it solve any problem?
No, not at all. AI, straight answer. AI doesn't have our emotional intelligence yet. And I feel like that is the missing piece, you know, that is really driving this conversation. So just quickly, I saw a tool. I'm not going to mention it because I don't want to badmouth the tool, but I've seen this tool floating around in my space in the social selling arena. And what it's doing is it's going in and essentially it is trying to replace the human engagement and commenting on people's posts. And you can see that these comments are so disconnected. For example, my friend put up, 10-year anniversary of my father passing away. Rest in peace, my dad. You know, for Father's Day that is just gone. This comment has got on there and said, "Oh, did you have a great experience with your father for Father's Day?" Like it's just missing that emotional context and that EQ intelligence, the emotional intelligence to be able to facilitate that. So at this point in time, right now in history, no, I don't feel like it can cover that human touch space.
Wow. That's a great example. And Liz.
Yeah, I would say Jeff said a very integral word yet, right? I do believe it will get there. It's programmed by humans. It's, learning from data that was created by humans. But of course, part of our human thought process is the emotional intelligence piece. And it's yet to be seen how that will be duplicated in a machine.
Wow. True.
I love that answer.
It was a great answer. Yeah. And AI is learning. Someone from a previous panel said they think we're about still 6 months away from the inflection point that AI becomes more intelligent. Whether that is inclusive of emotional intelligence, don't know. But like you said, Liz, it's a matter of time, right? Sarah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree with Liz or Jeff. Again, I was on kind of both sides. It's definitely not there at this point. I know I was playing around with an idea the other day and it gave me some, source. And I went and looked up the source and it was like from 2018. I was like, that is so irrelevant to what I'm asking for. Like, why are you giving me marketing ideas from like 6? I'm like, okay, I know next time to be like, only please give me information. So it's scraping everything, right? So at this stage, it's still really up to us to inspect what we expect and to put in that extra, because AI is just, and anyone who does imaging knows that you've got to wonder some of the YouTube videos as women that it's scraped from. There's a lot of learning it needs to do still. And so it's, in my opinion, yes, it'll learn its own, but it's still learning from what we're generating and prompting. That's one of the reasons I joined AI is I'm like, I'm going to start prompting it. And I tell it sometimes like, yo, dude, that's cheese. Like, I have no problem having hilarious conversations with it because I know that what I'm teaching it, it's remembering. And so at some stage, will it potentially be able to mirror or mimic? But I can't remember who said it before. Was it it's talking about being empathetic, like having empath? Like that's something that I don't think a machine can do. By looking at, like, you know, if you study psychology, the slightest move of someone's eyebrow, you're going to know if they're in a good mood, bad mood. Did you just say something that affected them? Will robots be able to get to that stage, or AI robots? We're jumping ahead. We're already at robots, but that's coming. I think that will take a while. That will take a while, and it will really depend on how we're teaching it and using it in our lives. So it's a yes and no kind of answer, but I think it's still far away, but it is very possible because you don't know what you don't know. So
that is interesting. A timeline I heard to that exact example you gave, seeing facial expressions, there is some low-level AI that's doing it now, but not fully effective. You get 3 months. I'm curious to see in our next AI Symposium in 3 or 4 months if that has changed. It's moving fast. The technology is rapidly moving fast. Joyce.
Yeah, I would agree with everyone that we are not there yet. AI doesn't seem to have the sign showing us that it can reason. And that's very important. It just simply remembers all the things and summarizes and then really narrates really well, but doesn't mean it can reason beyond that. The other thing that has been hindering that progress is the data. So far, most of the AI models are trained by public domain data. And we all know how much rubbish there is in the internet data, right? So I used to work in investment area. I still advise investment related AI startups. So one of the key differentiator for a lot of these financial services company is their ownership of private commercial data that's not currently feeding into these AI models. So therefore, I would just say, in order to get there, we probably also need both the reasoning to jump ahead and then also the data quality used to train these AI models to be upgraded.
Wow, awesome. Yeah, data is something that if we have time, I can circle back around. But I want to give William another option to take the panel here.
Why do you always stutter when you address me? Am I intimidating? Is that a myth for you, Tom?
That is a myth. That is a great myth. Notice I didn't stutter just then.
So I'm going to ask, I'm going to kind of point out another myth that you guys have all kind of tapped on, but I really want to dive into it. Again, as an entrepreneur myself, that is not like an AI brain. Like you guys talk about Claude. I swear I graduated with that guy. So, you know, for me, there are some myths. And I think for us is there's a myth that AI is already, it doesn't make any mistakes. It doesn't lie. It's better than humans. It makes superior decisions than humans. And that is scary for entrepreneurs that aren't in the AI space. And in reality, for AI to grow, it needs people like me to want to use it, right? So I guess my question is, can you guys address that myth? And really, I'd like to see you bust it, because individuals that are watching this right now don't want to use AI, or they think it's smarter and this and that, and talk about that it does have weaknesses. And I think it's important for us to address those and call those out. Jeff, go ahead.
Yeah, look, at the end of the day, most AI, it's an input-output tool. You put great stuff in, you're going to get great stuff out. If you put crap in, you're going to get crap out. And so it's really that human interaction element. And that's why I say it's AI plus our heart equals our superpower, because it still needs us as drivers of the car to drive the car, right? So when you understand its role and how you can be empowered and equipped with just another tool, then it's a very, very powerful tool. But just like a hammer for a carpenter versus a hammer for a master tradesman, you're going to get different results because the master tradesman is a master, right? So we just got to leverage AI as another tool. Yeah, I do talk to my AI like a virtual assistant, and I treat it like a human because it's, you know, it interacts back and forth and all that sort of thing. But look, I've known AI to lie, and you know, basically, I've had an AI message bot come up, and it said Jeff is doing this, this, and this, and it's basically trying to mimic my sort of day-to-day behavior, and it was a flat-out lie. So, you know, it's all about how we use the tools and the foundation. And this is where, when I first jumped into ChatGPT, I actually created a video 5 minutes after that and said, don't trust AI. It's going to basically make you look like an amateur, and it's a load of BS. I had to learn how to eat some humble pie myself because I wasn't using the tool properly. I wasn't laying the foundations. I had to learn how to become a master of the AI tools. And once you've got that, and, you know, just like any other tool, like I'm a cabinet maker by trade, you know, and I was taught to do everything by hand, how to hit the nail with the hand before I got the nail gun. And then as I was finishing up my trade, they brought out these robotic, you know, router machines that could essentially do what I was doing by hand, but now do 30 of them in an hour. Now, I didn't have the ability to be a computer technician to learn how to use that tool. So I lost my job. You know, AI is just a similar thing in that space. We've just got to become masters of the tools.
Awesome. Love that. Thank you for calling that out. Sarah, go ahead, please.
Yeah, and Jeff, I love that you say that because there's, you know, our ability to learn and to grow and to understand. You know, I've thrown in the chat a few times, inspect what you expect. I mean, I was talking to someone the other day and they said something and I was like, who said that to you? And he's like, oh, the neighbor. And I was like, and you just took it at face value? I'm like, does that actually make sense? Like, use your brain. And, you know, so we went online and double checked, but multi-source, right? Like, that's where we get to have that ability because it does make sense. It pulls, and for anyone who has studied it, the good courses tell you double check because it will make up references. It'll make up like, oh, here's a report, like even in your prompt. And that's why prompt engineering is so important because you can say, make sure you only give me, you know, resources quoted from like, and give it exactly which medical journals or whatever, and then go back and check. I mean, that is where we talked about even before. Is it going to replace humans? No, because we have a different brain process. And we've talked about it a few times here, is I think this is a beautiful opportunity for us to look at ourselves and be like, okay, where can I improve my own life? Like, how can I just stop sitting back, floating down the river and be like, where am I going to sit in that driver's seat? Like you said, Jeff, and say like, I'm going to direct it. So it makes lots of mistakes. I don't trust it just for fact. I check everything that it says, especially if I'm like, common sense. I'm like, that doesn't make sense. So I'll go dive deeper and play with it. So will it at some point learn when we put garbage in, garbage out? Will it get at some point as we filter through, like anything, it'll get better. And yet if it's teaching itself, like people are liking these jokes and stuff they're putting in, will it continue to create stuff like that? So we're always going to have, I think, a due diligence to inspecting what we expect to come out of it. And so I think people don't need to be afraid because even prior to that, and I'll close it off, but way before AI came into the mainstream, there were these same opportunities all over the place of people just saying stuff. I mean, we saw it, I'm Canadian, but not that many years ago, we saw the fake news, right? Like stuff just got out there without using AI and it wasn't true. Like we have our own right to say like, okay, wait a second, what makes sense and how can I go and validate that and be a part of that conversation?
You know, Tom, what I've caught on these two answers, and thank you, Sarah, is that I'm pretty much smarter than ChatGPT. I just want to point that out to you. So thank you, Sarah, for really edifying that. Liz, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this.
William, you are smarter than ChatGPT. I promise you.
Heard it. You heard that.
You heard that, Tom. So really there are in my mind, two real dangers when it comes to AI and specifically ChatGPT. It's going to cause one of two things in everybody, users and non-users. Either full reliance, hey, I can phone in my marketing. I can phone in raising my kid. I can phone in the discipline talk when there's doing something that I don't want him to do. Or I take, like what Sarah said, I'm taking it all in. Like, this guy is a magical marketer. This guy has this magic potion. This woman is a phenomenal speaker. Look how well she speaks, because critical thinking is now out the window. My favorite thing to do at this point, and some of you on this panel have heard me say this before, I have a teenager, young teenager, 14, and who, of course, is all over social media. And unfortunately, we see many adults doing the exact same thing I'm about to describe my teenager doing, when she runs into the dining room and she tells me the Eiffel Tower is on fire and has now disappeared. So it's a great conversation on critical thinking. I have also seen adults posting where Target is now run by the devil, and there's AI images of red horned mannequins in Target. Clearly, they're AI, and they do exist. You can Google them. And people completely believe this. And it's dangerous, because then it's shared for its shock value, because marketers know we want the clicks, we want the eyes, we share it for shock value. And yet we've got small businesses collapsing over this rumor mill that's now created. So the two things that everyone should focus on is you will fall in one of those two buckets, either full reliance on it, and there goes any voice and opinion you might have and uniqueness, or the loss or gaining of the critical thinking and really questioning every bit of what you're saying.
Yes. Thank you, Liz. And I appreciate that. Joyce.
Yeah, I would say building trust with AI is no different than building trust between humans. And you need that process to understand why it does things it does, have that risk guardrail set in place just in case, so that you feel like there's really boundaries. And then also you have human in the loop, eventually correct course when things are not doing the right, giving the right answer and all that. And then at the same time, have that belief that technology is advancing. So for example, the giving the wrong answers, making up stuff is now being mitigated, not completely, of course, but mitigated in part by techniques like RAG or knowledge graphs in business use cases. So I do think we evolve together with AI, and during that process, we build up that trust. And of course, trust can be taken away, so that, you know, we need to hold also the AI, especially the AI systems with some of the inherent biases, up to accountability. We need to make sure that they behave the way they are supposed to. Otherwise, we take the trust away from them.
Well said. Well, hopefully the folks who are watching this will have maybe gain an understanding, or we've dispelled some misconceptions around AI. So I want to thank the panel so much for your insight and just giving of your time and knowledge of your insight to artificial intelligence.